Hello, my name is Russel McLean. I'm the author of And When I Die, coming soon from Saraband Books. Look at that. Is that not? And I love this cover so much. It's absolutely gorgeous. Um, it's a new book for me. I have written 5 books based in Dundee, following a private investigator known as J McNee. That's J as in the letter J, because quite frankly, I couldn't be bothered thinking of a first name. There's a lot of jokes about it in the book, in the books, and they're great fun. I've loved writing them, but this is a whole new thing for me. This is the first book I've written set in Glasgow. It's also quite different for me in that there's 2 point of view characters throughout the whole book. One is a young woman named Kat, who is Kat Scobie. She's the only good member of a really bad family. Her family are absolutely terrible. Um, Drug dealers, crooks, criminals, all that kind of stuff. The second point of view is her ex-fiance, a guy named John, who is an undercover cop. So you've got these two narratives going on, and most of the book takes place over one night, which is the funeral of Kat's cousin Ray. Now, Ray was the enforcer for the family. And he suffers from a condition known as congenital insensitivity to pain. Now, that's a very real thing. The problem is that while everybody believes that he was killed in an explosion, it turns out that might not be as true as everyone thinks. And he returns on the night of his alleged funeral to take revenge on his family, and manages to enlist Kat's help in doing so. And everything becomes very, very bloody from that moment on. And there's lots of family secrets, there's a little bit of violence, there's even a touch of romance to a certain degree, in the way that John, even though he and Kat have split up by this point, as he's got deeper and deeper involved with the family, he still cares for her, and to see her involved in this situation is obviously terrifying for him. But I'm going to read to you the opening section of the story. This is not written from either Kat or John's point of view. This is the only section of the book written in third person, and the reason for that was I wanted to do essentially a teaser to the rest of the story, something that sets things up, and all the rest of it. And it was fun to write. It was a little bit different. It's a different way of starting the story. It's a little bit of action to kick things off before we get to the meat and bones of the characters, and I loved doing it. This entire book has been so much fun to write. It's so very different to write. It's been a long time coming. I came up with the idea back in 2008, and I've been working on it on and off since then. It's been a science fiction novel. It's been a horror novel. It's been all kinds of things, and it was only when I discovered Ray's condition as a real medical thing that the story really took off for me. So this is the opening of The Last of the Gang to Die, and I hope you enjoy. A suburban street in the south side, tenements all around, middle-income workers, migrant communities, shops shifting groceries at markdowns, and takeaways selling kebabs and chips with gravy. The man walks out of his one-bedroom flat. He's big and walks leading with his shoulders, head held high, posture perfect, dressed in dark jeans and a red shirt that he wears untucked. On his feet, heavy boots that are scuffed from use. Hard to tell what he does for a living, if anything. Looking the way he does, you figure he has money, but he's not a lawyer or a doctor, not living round here. He's not in sales. He doesn't have the smarm or the cheap polyester suit. He's not a shop worker or a labourer. He doesn't have the right look or the right walk. What he is dangerous. You know that by looking at him. The walk tells you that this is a man you do not mess with. He's big, not fat, just big. The kind of chest that makes you think of Superman, deflecting bullets. Hands big enough that they could dig a grave. No real expression on his face. Not happy, not sad, not angry. Maybe he's waiting to see how he feels today. On the street, he looks up at the sky as though expecting rain, but the sun is out. Most people would smile when they realise this. A sunny day in Glasgow, anywhere in Scotland really, is something to be celebrated. But he merely looks up, and then back down again with no change in his mood. He walks to a black Skoda, one of the newer models, not an old rust bucket. He looks around again, but it's merely habit. The man has clearly learned to be cautious over the years. A doctor or a lawyer or a salesman or a manual labourer would not be cautious. But despite all the precautions, he doesn't see the people in the Grey Megane further down the street. They've been watching him since he came out of the building, both of them coked up. One is trying hard not to vomit, while the other barely notices the drugs in his system. Truth is, the second man needs a regular hit just to keep himself stable. The first is only high under duress. What he's doing is barely keeping himself together. This is the last time, he thinks. After today, it's over. So they wait. They watch. The big man gets into the car, closes the door, turns the key in the ignition. There's a moment when he realises that something's wrong. He twists in his seat, reaches for the door. When the explosion comes, it's bigger than either of the two coked-up men expect. It pushes at the cars to the front and the rear, blows out the windows of the nearest building. Twisted scraps of metal arc into the air, trailing flames and sparks. The two men in the car don't bother to see if the big man's dead. They drive off, one of them vomiting violently into his own lap. Thank you.